rolled to his right on that play, and kind of a tough throw, but did the best he could with it.
Andy Washington, not really sure if the wind will help. Eric Glad is back to receive for Tech. High snap. Carter does a nice job of getting it away. And a fair catch by Glad. He fumbles it, but it goes out of bounds. So Tech will start at their own 44-yard line. Very good field position for the Trojans. We're still scoreless at 0-0. And the men who will be calling this game from left to right, our referee is Mark Gondek, the umpire Robert Repke, the head linesman is John Urban, and the line judge Jim Stencil. Tech on first down.
You know, Dan, I was going to say on the previous two plays, both the pass by Derek Jenkins and the attempted fielding of the punt by number 44, Nakia Williams, I think they both reflected the fact that, as might be expected, both these teams are probably a little tight in a game of this magnitude here in the opening minutes.
A 1-yard gain by Derek Sanders. Randy Anderson with another tackle for the Purgolders. 2nd down and 9. McNello dropping, and he completes his pass to Bivens, and he crosses the 50, short of a first down, but a nice gain for Tech. And a nice job by Bivens to break that tackle. Eric Jenkins finally did bring him down after a gain of about 6 yards.
What I find interesting about this particular play and pass pattern, I think it's the type of thing any high school team should do early in the game, is try and hit those short passes to build some confidence for the quarterback in the passing game.
And the handoff inside to the first man through, the fullback Derek Sanders, and he burst through for the initial first down of the game, all the way down to the 42-yard line of Washington. So a nice fake on that one. Michael Arbuckle with the tackle for Washington, but I think everybody was expecting an outside play, but it was the handoff to the fullback for the first down. 7:52 and counting in the first quarter. This time the handoff inside, and the ball carrier, who I believe was LaShawn Grace, was brought down on the inside handoff by Titus Watkins. And nobody fooled on that one. A 3-yard loss, and it'll be second and about 13. And as you said, Bill, Tech really moves in and out of that huddle in a hurry, don't they?
They certainly do. I mean, not much time to gather our thoughts, Dan.
This time, the handoff to Sanders, and he's going to be close to the original line of scrimmage, but the Washington linebackers really hitting Randy Anderson once again on the tackle.
Both teams obviously have learned the value of gang tackling, not using more than one individual to get the runner down.
We didn't finish with the Washington defense before the ends are Jameel Richardson, 57 and 7. Michael Arbuckle, the quarterbacks, Eric Jenkins, 88, Chris Perrine, number 22. They're in action here at 3rd down. Tech throwing, incomplete pass. McNello trying for Glad, and a nice defensive play by Derek Jenkins to break that one up.
This was a nice play on both ends of the football. McNello made a nice throw, and number 1, Derek Jenkins, made a real athletic move to get in and break this one up.
Outstanding play by Jenkins. So it's a 4th down, another punting situation for Tech. This is Patrick Furman.
It's of interest.
He gets away, a nice boot. Taken by number 9, Rashawn Jackson, and he is stopped after crossing the 10-yard line by Jamil Edwards. It's going to be a 1st down, but once again, Washington starting deep in its own territory again.
This may be trivia, Dan, but, you know, both teams are using their own football, and Washington has what appears to be a brand new football, and the one that Tech's using looks like it might have got out of somebody's basement somewhere. I don't know the significance of that, if anything, but I did notice that.
Comfortable as an old sock. 1st and 10 at the 13 for the Purgolders. Jenkins with the inside handoff. Nakia Williams in on the tackle for Tech. There was a penalty on the play.
Coach,
that's going to be a face mask penalty against Tech. That one hurts. It was a handoff to Maurice Stevenson.
Coach Konowalski had confided before the start of the day's game, Dan, that some of the concerns he had defensively were going to be able to stop the fullback off tackle for Washington, keep their quarterback contained on bootlegs and option plays. And offensively, he feels he needs to get a good game and out of his own quarterback, McNello.
That is a huge penalty all the way up to the 30-yard line. So Washington out of the hole. They've got it 1st and 10 now. Jenkins, the handoff to Perrine. Trying to break outside. Picks up a good 7 or 8 yards before he is brought down by Derek Sanders for Tech. But a nice job on 1st down, and Greg Lehman did mention that before the game. 1st down going to be very important because this Tech team, as you talked about in the pregame, they've had, what, 4 shutouts?
4 shutouts in a row, Dan.
Obviously a very talented defensive team. You have to get something going early, otherwise on the late quarterback. 8 yards on that carry, 2nd down and 2. Man in motion is Jackson. The handoff is to Maurice Stevenson, the fullback, and he's got a 1st down for Washington at the 45-yard line. Tackle by Damian White for Tech.
All right, he was able to get outside here. Good blocking on the left side of that Washington line. The thing I like to see is you notice how he covers up that ball just prior to impact, prevent the fumble.
Good idea that time because he was hit by 4 or 5 Tech defenders. But it is a 1st down. They'll mark it at the 44-yard line, so 2 1st downs in a row for Washington. Jenkins hands off to number 22, Chris Perrine. And he gets about 3 or 4 yards, so a very simplistic offense right now. Tremel Solomon with the tackle, but it's working. 2nd down and 7.
For those who might not know where Pulaski Field is, we're on about the corner of 27th and Oklahoma, and if that's not descriptive enough, Dan, what would you say we are? About a wood and a 9-iron away from Leon's frozen custard stand here on the south side?
Well, the way the wind is blowing today, it may be a little more than that. It may be a little less than that, depending where you're hitting. 2nd down and 7. This time Jackson in motion again. Jenkins on the option, pitches to Jackson. And some big hitting once again as he gets knocked out of bounds very close to the 1st down. Patrick Furman put his head down and butted heads with Jackson.
Oh my, Dan. Furman, I had the privilege of watching Furman play in a game earlier this year against, as I was just alluding to, Dan, I had the privilege of watching Furman play in a game earlier this year against Milwaukee King, and I commented to Tom for a young man that's probably about 150 pounds, he plays more like 180, 185.
And I have to say, he got the worst of it that time from Rashawn Jackson. A nice job by Jenkins on the pitch. Washington now on 1st down. Some good moves by Perrine. And he jukes up past the 45, down to about the 43 of Tech. Furman again on the tackle. It's going to be 2nd down and 7, 8 yards to go.
Yeah, and Chris Perrine for Washington, number 22, is, in addition to his work here on the football team, plays varsity baseball every year since the 9th grade, is on the JV basketball team last year, and a fine student, ranked 7th in the class of 93.
And the leading rusher, I believe. All around good kid so far this season. Jenkins rolling right again. The lefty puts one up for grabs. He's got a man wide open, but it's incomplete. And that time, Jenkins just had to unload it. He was looking for Daryl Carter. But not much room for error on that one because Jenkins was about to be hit.
Well, hopefully the Trojans went to school and realize now that they're going to have to respect the power in the arm of young Jenkins. That ball was some 45 or 50 yards in the air.
And that, for a left-hander, throwing when he's running to his right, that's just like a right-hander running to his left. It's not the easiest of throws to get something on it. 3rd down. We'll call it 8. Jenkins again. To Carter, completed. Trying to break away. He'll be far short of a 1st down, and a good job by the Tech defense stopping him after a short game. Marcus Tribune in on the tackle, and it's going to be a 4th down for Washington. So it looks like another punting situation, and I believe we have a player down on the ground for Tech. I think it's number 61, Mike Kopp. And he is up, he's okay, so that's good to see. Mike Kopp is a 6', 190-pound junior who's in on the tackle. It's going to be a 4th down, and Eric Glad is back to receive the punt from number 30, Andy McCarter. Doubles on the punting and kicking duties for Washington.
Had a high snap on the last one. Tech sent a load.
They were coming after that one. Glad lets it go. Can Washington down it? Jenkins is there. And it is downed inside the 5. Give credit to Dimitri Holyfield along with Derek Jenkins as they down that one at the 1-yard line. So we've seen Jenkins making the plays on offense and quarterback, breaking up a pass at safety, and now downing a punt at the 1-yard line.
Certainly a marquee player, Dan, and well, no margin for error for the Trojans as they start this series.
42-yard punt down at the 1, first down for Tech. The handoff inside to the fullback Sanders, and he's not going to get much yardage. The tackle was made by Wayne Hollins for Washington.
As long as we're got Derek Jenkins on our mind, he's also the senior class president of his senior class at Washington High School, plays varsity basketball, and is a track captain, 6'1", 180 pounds.
And of course, when you think about Washington basketball, you think of the last couple of years, state champions 2 years ago. Last year they lost only once, and that was to Wauwatosa East, the eventual runner-up, and that was in the playoffs. Second down, and this time it was 25, I believe, LaShawn Grace. 24, Lamel Bivens, and he did not get much yardage once again. The tackle made by David Gomez for Washington. So that ball is still deep in Tech territory. Third down and 9.
Let me stick my neck out on this one. Tech often in this situation will utilize a quick kick.
Now that would be a bad idea here, but they're going to run it. Bivens again trying to get outside, does not, stopped at the 2, maybe the 3-yard line. Tackle made by Eric Jenkins for Washington, and now it's going to be fourth down. This is where field position comes in. A great job by Jenkins to down that ball at the 1, and this is the product of it. Now Tech is going to have to punt from their own 2-yard line.
McNello, not a whole lot of room back there. He steps 1 foot back. It's going to be a safety for the Purgolders.
And not much of a rush put on. Furman gets a nice boot. Rashawn Jackson at the 37, straight up the middle. Inside the 30, Washington will take over in great field position. The tackle made by Jamie Sterridge for Tech, but a nice job by Furman just to get that one out of there. This is homecoming for Tech, and a rather large crowd on hand for this one.
Terrific atmosphere. And I got here at 10:30 this morning. They had a tailgate party going over here on the KK Parkway. If I wouldn't have had a big breakfast, I would have ingratiated myself very quickly and got myself a brat.
I could have used one this morning. First down. That's Perrine, and a great open field tackle for Milwaukee Tech, Derek Sanders. And that's going to be a gain of maybe a yard for Washington. That could have been a big play.
Yeah, if he would have got around the corner, there wasn't a whole lot else out there, but has been accustomed with all these tacklers so far this game. The shoulder was there, the arms were wrapped, and just excellent form tackling by young Derek Sanders.
Sanders, a 5'7", 155-pound senior cornerback, also doubles as a running back. Jenkins handing off inside Jackson, and again, a lot of hitting inside. And that is the final play of the first quarter. Eric Glad with the tackle for Tech. So we've spent 12 minutes and basically no score so far. Now, Washington has the advantage with field position. They will start inside the 30 as we begin the second quarter. So it's scoreless after 1. We'll be back after this on the Channel 12 High School Game of the Week. Quarter number 2, we are scoreless. Washington against Tech, first place in the city conference on the line, and that was a very quick first quarter, Bill.
It was indeed, and both teams kept it on the ground a lot. It simply moved.
Ball is loose. Tech has it on the opening play of the second quarter, a fumble on the pitch. And Tech recovers at their own 25-yard line. The recovery was made by Nakia Williams for Tech. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Let's take a look at it, Dan. It looked like the pitch was slightly behind it, but in, you know, not to lay blame on anyone, it was a tough catch, but perhaps he should have had it.
Chris Perrine was the intended target on that pitch, trying to get outside. So the first turnover of the game is a big one. Tech takes over on their 25. On first down, number 24, Lamel Bivens. Not much room to run again.
It was a big opportunity for Washington to miss. I know it's probably going through both coaches' heads at this stage in this football game. Is you want to get on the board in a game, this magnitude first. It tends to loosen the players up and allows you to do some things you can't do when it's knotted.
Keep your eye on number 6, Randy Anderson, in on that tackle for Washington. Only 5'6", 175 pounds, but he's been in on just about every play.
Comes the screen.
Screen is incomplete. That time intended for 22 Billy Scott, and it looked like they had that one set up pretty well. So it's going to be 3rd down and long. 3rd and 11.
I didn't catch the gentleman's name for Washington, but he got in there a little quicker than perhaps young McNello would have liked, and he just didn't have a chance to get the ball out there.
What we mentioned earlier, Buford and Hoppy, the two key players for Tech that are missing. They've been playing well without them. This time the pass is complete to Matt Lansey for a first down. I believe it's going to be very close. And it is indeed a first down at the 37. So McNello really rifling that one into traffic, but a nice job by Lansey to come down with the catch. The tackle was made by Eric Jenkins.
Well, Matt Lansey simply went down in his own coverage and hooked it up, and McNello laid it right in there. A beautiful throw. Frankly, Washington had about it covered as well as they could. And
Derek Sanders. And he gets a nice gain up near the 45. Tackle made by Derek Jenkins for Washington.
that was the old Tech version of the Statue of Liberty, where the quarterback goes up and simply wraps it around the fullback's belly after he passes it. A very unusual play. You don't see that very much.
It was good for 6 yards. 2nd down and 4 for Tech. The Trojans, both teams unbeaten in conference play. Handoff inside again to Sanders. Stopped right around the first down, or the line of scrimmage. Once again, Randy Anderson in on the tackle for Washington.
I'll only mention it one more time, but Dan, I'm still curious about that old football. I don't know if they had that blessed by the bishop or what have you, but this is throwing me off my game.
That is beat up football. There you see it. Troy Jones also in on that tackle. It looks more like a rugby ball. Sanders again bursting through for a first down to the 49-yard line of Tech. Billy Scott, on the carry that time. So he comes into the game and picks up a first down. The tackle made by Michael Arbuckle. Watch the speed of Scott here.
Yeah, he picked his hole very well. He started inside, moved outside, and made a nice spin movement with the football. The last 3 minutes, Tech has pretty turned the field position around this football game. Just moments ago, they're on their own half-yard line. Now we're back out to midfield.
First down, McNello. Completed pass. This time is to number 82, Chad Getz. So McNello looking good here in the second quarter. It's going to be short of a first down. They'll spot it at the 43-yard line of Washington.
Chad Getz came down that zone coverage, made a real crisp out pattern, and McNello threw that ball right on timing.
Second down. This time it's Sanders up the middle. He's got a first down. And the Trojans, Tom Konowalski, doing a nice job of mixing up his plays, because Washington really controlled that first quarter with their defense. Right now, Tech is on the move. Troy Jones with the tackle that time, but it's another first down at the 39. There you see that Tech offense. Washington a little disorganized this time. Billy Scott once again trying the right side. Brought down by Rashawn Jackson for Washington after a short gain.
What's remarkable to me anyway, Dan, how quickly Tech gets in and out of that huddle, and when you take in consideration they're sending a player with a play on every play, it's really remarkable. It's about as close to a no huddle offense with a huddle you can have. I guess that sounds a little strange, but that's the way I see it.
And Washington jumping offside that time. I don't know if they were drawn up or not, but about 5 players skied on over the line of scrimmage. We'll check in with Mark Gondek. It is against the Purgolders, so instead of 2nd and 7, it'll be 2nd down and 2.
You know, you're doing a remarkable job, Dan, with these Tech names. They're not the easiest ones to pronounce. You don't look for any kids named Baker or Blair, any of those soap opera names on the Tech side of football. This is a lunch bucket crew.
That's right. Sanders. Oh, talk about lunch bucket run. As he's got the first down and more. all the way down inside the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at the 20. And watch the second effort by Sanders.
Well, you said it exactly right, Dan. Second effort is the name of the game here. He's hit about 4 yards out of the backfield, spun and made an additional 5. Probably a real good timeout for Washington to regroup at this stage as Tech is on the move.
Eric Jenkins and Titus Watkins combining to bring Sanders down, but that was a outstanding run for Sanders, and Tech is on the move. And while we've got a chance here with this timeout, we want to thank our sponsors. There you see the high school game of the week banner. Pick and Save Foods has helped bring 2 years of high school football here on Channel 12. Next week is our season finale, going over to the Metro Conference. Should be a good one. Marquette against Racine St. Catharines. And if Racine St. Catharines goes into that game undefeated, they'll have at least a share of the Metro Conference title, as on Friday night it was Catholic Memorial over Dominican. So it's getting down to that time of year, Bill, where playoff spots are really on the line. There's only a couple of weeks left in the season, and there are not too many conference races that are decided yet.
Well, it is indeed final exam time for these teams. They've worked all year, and one of the beauties of high school football is that you can see the improvement over the course of a year for all the teams.
First down, Bivens with a nice stutter step, and he takes it to the 15. So a pickup of 5-yard line, or 5 yards for Tech. It's second down and 5 at the 15.
And one thing I've noticed with both of all the Tech running backs that have been used so far this afternoon, they're very, very astute at picking the correct hole, and are not going to go down with just a little bit of contact, despite their small size.
Troy Jones and Derek Sanders. Derek Jenkins on that last play. This time the handoff up the middle to Sanders. And I got to tell you, McNello is really doing a good job with the ball fakes, because I thought that was a carry on a sweep.
That makes 2 of us, Dan.
Michael Arbuckle with the tackle. Watch the ball faking. Okay, we won't get to see that last play, but it was McNello with a nice sleight of hand. So another first down for Tech. As you mentioned, they were just on their own 2-yard line not too long ago, but after a turnover, they are moving the ball. This time it's Lamel Bivens with a short carry. It'll be second down and goal.
This is the area of the football field where so many teams have a difficult time simply getting in the end zone. There's just less football field to play with, and it takes something away from the offense. But getting it in from here is key if you're going to be a winning football team.
Second down, Billy Scott down to the 5. It's going to be third down and goal from that spot. 6:50 and counting left to go before halftime. Still scoreless. And Tech with a very important play coming up here, the first real scoring opportunity in the game.
Dan, I was 0 for 1 on the quick kick. I'm going for Matt Lancey in the left corner of the end zone.
We'll see Getz was lined up to the right, and this is the play, and it's intercepted by number 22, Chris Perrine, in the end zone, and it will be a touchback. Washington had that one. Maybe they were listening to you on that one, Bill, because they had that one smelled out, and it is another big turnover.
Well, I'm 1 for 2. It was indeed intended for Matt Lancey in the left corner of the end zone, but he was well covered. 1 or 2 Washington defenders could have stepped in there and made that play.
And look at the smart play by Perrine. Just down it in the end zone. He almost crossed over the goal line, but instead it will be Washington at their own 20, so that is a big play for Greg Lehman.
Big disappointment for Tech, big lift for the Washington Purgolders.
First down, going the other way, and the handoff is to the fullback, Maurice Stevenson. He picked up a couple on the carry. It'll be second down at about 8. And going back to that last play in the end zone, Tremel Solomon with the tackle that time for Tech. On that last play in the end zone, Lancey was open for a short amount of time, and it looked like McNello did not pick him up right away. And that gave Perrine some time to step in front of him.
Well, what had happened on that, McNello went back and get a little bit of a play-action fake. It probably took more time than it should have. But
here's the pitch to Perrine, and he's got a lot of room to go. He might be gone. Touchdown, Washington. Chris Perrine on the quick pitch. 78-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden it's Washington on top 6-0.
Oh my, Dan, suddenly. The complexion changed just that rapidly. Let's have a look at it. Perrine with a simple pitch, a sweep to the left side. Good blocking on the left side of the Washington line, and after that, it was simply outstanding speed. Once he broke into the open, nobody was going to catch him. Number 32 for the Trojans, Derek Sanders, despite his good speed, couldn't catch him.
Andy McCarter in for the extra point. It is good. So with 5:36 left to go in the opening half, the Purgolders from Washington take a 7-0 lead. Wow. This game has had some quick turnarounds. Washington had been threatening to score inside the 30-yard line of Tech when they turned it over on the first play of the second quarter. Tech moved it all the way down inside the 5-yard line of Washington until an interception in the end zone. And 2 plays later, 78-yard touchdown for Chris Perrine, and Washington leads it 7-0. Well, you have to give some credit, a lot of credit to Perrine. He came up with the interception. He scored the touchdown.
Yes.
So, he's given himself a chance to shine here on TV. So we'll see how Tech can respond. McCarter booting it deep. Billy Scott. No, it won't be Scott. It's Bivens. And he takes it out near the 30-yard line. And the tackle was made by Dimitri Holyfield, I believe, for Washington, along with Randy Perrine. And Tech is going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 30.
Well, it's 7-0, Dan. Much too early to call this a crucial series, but certainly they want to rebound from the shock of what just happened to them.
They were moving the ball as well as they had all game long, no doubt about it, Tech was. They'll try the quick pitch themselves to their own number 22, Billy Scott. Knocked out of bounds at the 33. And once again, Randy Anderson in on the tackle for Washington. And he is really playing a heck of a game from his linebacker position. They'll give him a gain of 3 yards. 2nd down and 7, 5-10 left to go before halftime. Obviously, this game not quite as slow as the Supreme Court hearings. Hand off inside. This time the ball carrier is number 25, LaShawn Grace. And he gets about 7 or 8 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and short for Tech.
No, but if you're a high school football fan, Dan, here's where you want to be today. Don't give me Iowa, Wisconsin. Don't give me that your wife wanted you to, put the storm windows up. You need to be here at Pulaski Field, Washington Tech. This is as good as it gets.
3rd down, a blitz by Washington. The handoff inside, I think it was Sanders. And it was. He's not going to get a 1st down. And it's going to be 4th down. He might have even lost maybe a half a yard.
I think that's. I think. Well, I think wrong. They are going to punt it. I thought maybe they'd risk it the way they've been moving it, but they're going to punt it.
So Washington's defense has really come up with some big plays. This time on a 3rd and 2, the blitz worked. I don't know if they knew that play was coming, but they were all over the ball carrier Sanders, and it's going to be 4th down. Furman back to punt. It's a fake. Sanders took it. He hands off to an inside runner, Billy Scott, and he is short of a 1st down. Washington, I don't know how they saw that play happening, but they stopped the 4th down try. And Washington with another big play. Even if we saw a replay on that one, I don't know if you could really
I don't
see
know.
what happened.
It just seemed it's for needing to make a yard. It seemed an awful long time in the development stage.
The snap was to the up man, Sanders, who then handed off inside to Billy Scott, so a little bit of trickery. And Washington all over that one. They're going to take over on the 38-yard line of Tech. 1st down, and Perrine is met by quite a few Tech defenders. The tackle made by Tremel Solomon, along with Nakia Williams. It'll be a 2nd down and 11. Watch the hitting, the initial hit.
Well, this is big number 78, Tremel Solomon.
Boom.
Boom.
And he did not get his arms around him to wrap him up, but it didn't matter. He had 3 or 4 friends there. Sanders also in on the tackle. So with 3:08 and counting, 2nd down and 11 at the 39-yard line of Tech. Jenkins rolling left. looking to pass. He's got a man open. It's complete to Eric Jenkins inside the 35. Tackle made by Damian White for Tech. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 5 yards to go. So Greg Lehman didn't go for it all in one play, but he did get 6. That makes this play call a little bit easier. Third down and 5. Jackson in motion. Jenkins going deep, and he overthrows everybody. The intended receiver was Eric Jenkins, and a good defensive play by Damian White all over the coverage. It'll be a 4th down.
The key on that play, Dan, was the rush of, again, from El Sullivan and number 64, Andy Villa.
There was a penalty flag on the play, and I think it was an ineligible receiver downfield for Washington. So this will be an interesting call. I don't know. I didn't see anybody downfield on that one, but Mark Gondek and his crew all over it. We'll see if Tech accepts it.
Well, they're going to move him back. I'm glad I kept my mouth shut. I thought they refused to bring up the 4th down, but
well, if Washington had any ideas of going for a field goal, I don't think they would now, obviously.
No.
But it's going to be 3rd down and 11. If Washington doesn't pick up the 1st down here, Tech may have been doing them a favor, give them a little more room to try to punt it out of bounds inside the 20. We shall see. 3rd and 11. Derek Jenkins looking deep again. This time it is almost intercepted by Mike Kopp off of his hands, and that's exactly a situation they were working on in the pregame, where the linebackers and linemen were practicing tipping the ball up into the air, and it almost worked for an interception. Instead, it'll be 4th down.
Good zone coverage by the Trojans. The linebackers dropped right back and were exactly where they were supposed to be, and made it a difficult throw for Jenkins.
Back to kick, Andy McCarter at his own 45. Booted from about the 50. Gets it off end over end. And it takes a Tech bounce. So they will not be in too much of a hole. They'll start at the 17, 18-yard line. Much better than the 1-yard line where they started before.
2:07. All their timeouts left. I think they're going to have to take a run at it.
The clock is rolling. 21-yard punt for Andy McCarter. Very quick first half when you've got two teams running the ball like these are. 7-0 Washington leading on a 78-yard run by Perrine. First down, McNello. Incomplete, and there is a pass interference. The intended receiver was Lancey, and the defensive back, number 21 for Washington, Randy Perrine, is going to be called for bumping Lancey. And indeed, it is pass interference. So a break for Tech, because I don't think that would have been a completed pass.
No, I'm sure it wouldn't have been. It was well over Lancey's head, and it was just an air of aggression on the part of the defensive back for Washington. He was trying to position himself, but he did indeed make the contact, and it was a proper call.
Well, we're still having problems with the microphone of Mark Gondek, our referee, but it was called pass interference.
Big disappointment to Mark. This is his big shot.
Big chance at the big time. 1st and 10 for Tech. Billy Scott hit hard at the 35-yard line, stopped at about the 36. Once again, Randy Anderson in on the tackle, and I think we're going to have a timeout on the field. Yes, we will. Called by Tech. Tom Konowalski going to talk it over. See, with 1:38 left, Tech has shown an ability to throw. They want to get something on the board before halftime.
Well, I'll make mention of the fact that although perhaps you might have it, Dan, I do not. In warm-ups, I was known as the Tech place kicker. He's got a real strong leg. And I would say any time they get inside the 30-yard line today, setting up field goal upwards of 45 yards or more even, I think he's got enough leg to get it there. I know they work hard on their kicking game, and I think Coach Konowalski minimally would like to come into this halftime here at 7-3, if not at least knotting this thing up.
Here you see the Tech band and fans. It's homecoming. And they have a nice turnout here today. The kicker you were talking about for Tech, Jeff Lewick, number 35. He's only a sophomore. Let's see if he gets some action here. These are the two biggest body-wise, I guess, number-wise, teams in the conference. The handoff here on the inside to Sanders, and he gained maybe a yard, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And both teams have the affordability of going deep into their rosters, which is nice. A lot of city schools would like to be able to do that.
Going out of huddle now.
3rd down and 8, a minute 15 and counting in the half. McNello going deep to Getz, and it's just over his head, out of bounds, incomplete. Jenkins on the coverage, Derek Jenkins, number 1. But if he could have taken just a tad off of that throw, it would have been a nice long completion.
Part of the difficulty for the Trojans on this drive is the Washington defensive backs really loosened up, and they really were going to have to hit it underneath and prevent the big play. Strategically, probably a good move on the part of Coach Lehman and the Purgolders.
Patrick Furman has done a nice job of punting in this game. Rashawn Jackson going to take it out of bounds at his 24, 25-yard line. They'll mark it. So Washington, with a minute 1 left in the first half. I don't know if they'll sit on it. They have a 7-0 lead. I suppose a turnover here could be devastating instead of going in with a 7-0 lead, so they probably will be conservative.
My guess is they're going to eat the football right now. 7-0 is, given the fact this has been like a couple championship fighters slugging it out on a manhole cover here. 7-0 is good enough as far as Coach Lehman's concerned, I'm sure.
If you missed it earlier here in the second quarter, on the second play after an interception by Chris Perrine. Chris Perrine, 78 yards on a touchdown. This time,
he's got the outside.
It's Dimitri Holyfield into the game, and he breaks outside for a first down, out past the 35-yard line. Some nice moves by Holyfield. And maybe Washington won't be content to sit on it. Tackle made by Damian White after a 10-yard gain.
These running backs for Washington have excellent speed. Tech has to be careful to contain them because, as demonstrated time and time again, they go on the corner. It's trouble.
Derek Jenkins now with a little more breathing room at the 35. Handoff inside, Maurice Stevenson, the fullback, still going. Out near another first down to the 45. And Washington will call a timeout with 28 seconds left in the half. And it looks like there's a player down for Tech. A couple of players getting up very slowly.
Well, again, just another demonstration of good hard running. Pick the right hole, cover up that ball. Not going to take the chance of a fumble at this stage in the half. They've now positioned themselves, Dan, here at the 45, where I think they can take a chance with 28 seconds left. Throw a couple down there and see what happens. I don't think they risk anything at this stage.
They've got Maurice Stevenson listed at 5'10", 190 pounds. Looks a little bit bigger than that out there at the fullback spot.
How many pounds?
190. A junior.
Yeah. So if it's 190, it's a solid 190.
And they're not going to measure. It's about an inch or two short for Washington of the first down.
We saw Derek Jenkins on one pass play midway through the first quarter that he's got enough arm to make this last 28 seconds very interesting. My sense is they're going to send a couple of guys deep down there and see what happens. Again, I think it's no risk at this stage.
Both Eric Jenkins and Daryl Carter have been the recipients of passes here in the opening half for Jenkins. So Tech has to watch both receivers. All the way at the top of your screen is Eric Jenkins. Instead, it's the fake on the handoff inside. It's Derek Jenkins keeping for a first down out near his own 49, 48-yard line. And a tackle made by Lucas Galindo for Tech, so 22 seconds now. And Washington is not in any hurry to get this play off. 15 and counting.
Well, I was hoping they'd throw it deep, frankly, but it's Coach Lehman's football team, not mine. And he's got him ahead 7-0. So
Well,
that's all that counts.
Maybe they'll do it on this play. 4 seconds. Will they get it off? They do. Derek Jenkins. And he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 50 to end the opening half. The tackle made by 44, Nakia Williams. Some tempers flaring on the sideline as Jenkins is in the middle of all the Tech players, and look out. Players from both teams are getting into it on the sideline, and both coaches are over there trying to get everything under control. Nakia Williams for Tech with a little extra push and shove at the end of that play out of bounds. And the Washington players, nobody throwing any punches. They're going to separate the two teams, and we will go into halftime with a 7-0 lead for Washington. A nice job by both coaches diffusing the situation. And we are at halftime. Washington 7, Tech nothing. We'll be back with halftime stats. From a very strange formation, that's Rashawn Jackson for Washington on the return. The tackle was made by Derek Sanders. And I tell you what, Bill, I'll give you the honors of trying to explain that one.
Well, Dan, let me say this. I've been to 3 state fairs, 2 hangings, and a lot of high school football games. Well, that's a first, but the element of surprise, I'm sure, was what they tried to create, and I think it was successful. Washington was perhaps caught a tad off guard.
I think I saw Oscar Madison pull that one off on The Odd Couple one time. First down and 10 for Washington at their own 25. They'll start it with a handoff to Chris Perrine, and taking it outside once again for a first down. And tackle was made by Nakia Williams. We'll get that name right by the end of the game. Chris Perrine, and he is having an outstanding game.
Well, he was the one in motion, got the handoff. Nice block by the offensive tackle, number 75 for Washington. Dan, perhaps you have his name. And Perrine kept his feet well, and he just a load to bring down.
75 is Wayne Hollins at the right guard, and he did a nice job opening that up. 13 yards for Perrine. This time, a little misdirection, and that was Holyfield on the carry. Mike Kopp with the tackle for Tech, and Holyfield is going to be stopped for a loss. Dimitri Holyfield, the sophomore halfback. That play worked in the first half. This time it's a 3-yard loss.
Well, Kopp, a knife through there, was in position to make the play, and he made it.
Also, number 47, Eric Glad with the penetration, and he forced Holyfield to cut it inside. And that's where Kopp met him for a 3-yard loss. Second down and 13. Washington leading 7-0. City Conference Championship on the line. The option left, Jenkins. And he's brought down after a very short gain. Andy Vila with the tackle for Tech.
You know, the opening series of the second half in a game this close is obviously important to both teams, but perhaps more important to Tech at this stage be behind if they want to get away with some decent field position for their turn at the football and try and square this thing as early in the second half as possible. And certainly be a complete meltdown if they go down 14-zip before they get their hands on the football again.
Give Derek Jenkins 3 yards on that carry. Third down and 10 from the 36-yard line of Washington. In motion is Perrine. The pass is complete to Holyfield. Needs to get to the 47, and the 48 actually is going to be short at about the 46, so it's going to be 4th down and 2. Jumile Edwards with the tackle. Well, at the end of that first half, there was an incident we'll get to in a second.
It was a well-conceived play, and number 3, Holyfield, swung out of the backfield, and number 88, the wide receiver, let me get his name, Eric Jenkins, was in a position to throw a block, and they're close.
Well, I tell you what, I mentioned the last play in the first half. It reminded me very much of this play because it was right in front of the Tech bench, and a little bit of a late hit by Williams, and it nearly set off a riot on the field. This time, one of the Tech defenders had a chance to take a shot at Holyfield out of bounds, and he held up. And the coaches have done a nice job of getting these players just to concentrate on football. Right,
and you know, both coaches Konowalski and Lehman are consummate sportsmen themselves and stress sportsmanship. And I think what happened in the first half was no more than a little frustration on the part of the Tech's player, and perhaps a percentage that was nothing more than the boys will be boys.
4th down and less than 1. The measurement showed the ball to be about a half a yard short, maybe a full yard. And it looks like Washington is going to be setting up in punt formation. So they don't want to take a chance here on 4th and 1. And Furman is back maybe 10, 15 yards deep for Tech, not expecting the punt. But McCarter does boot it away, and Washington downs it at the 26-yard line of Tech. It was Troy Jones down there to put the ball down, and Tech will take over for the first time in this half. 1st and 10 on their own 27-yard line.
Notice something interesting on that punt, Dan. The center for Washington on the punts is their quarterback, Derek Jenkins, which when you think about it for a moment, probably makes a whole lot of sense. He's used to handling the ball, and you come to think, I don't know why that's not done more often.
And the first play for Tech is a handoff up the middle to Derek Sanders. Hit hard and stopped after maybe a gain of 1 yard. Troy Jones in on the tackle. Let's set that Washington defense real quick. Randy Anderson and Troy Jones, the linebackers, and they have been in on the action all day long, most of the plays. David Gomez, 85, and Wayne Hollins, 75, are the defensive tackles. Titus Watkins at 56 is the nose guard. 57, Jameel Richardson. 7, Michael Arbuckle the ends. McNello to pass for Tech, and it is complete to Lamel Bivens. And it's a pickup of, about 6-7 yards. Going to bring up a 3rd down for Tech. The defensive backs, Derek Jenkins, number 1. Rashawn Jackson, number 9. The cornerbacks, 88, Eric Jenkins. 22, Chris Perrine, who, of course, had an interception in the first half and scored the only touchdown of the game. 8:45 left in quarter number 3. This is Sanders. He's got a 1st down and more out to the 46-yard line of Tech. And it's going to be a 1st down. Derek Jenkins on the tackle for Washington, but not until Sanders had a 13-yard gain.
Sanders off the right side of that Tech line. Good blocking on the right side of the line, and he knew what to do with the football. Got a good drive going now.
Ball marked on the 46, and before Tech can get this one off, there is a whistle. And I think it's going to be against Washington. I'm not sure. It is offsides, is what Mark Gondek, our referee, tells us. There's Mark.
All right. I was going
Dead ball full, number 75.
Hey, we've got Mark's microphone working. Finally, all right, nice job.
This was a prepared mind meeting opportunity. Mark was ready to make that call with that microphone.
Sanders again getting outside for a 1st down, and he slipped down. Otherwise, he might have had another 10, 15 yards or more. Tackle made for Washington by number 59, Troy Jones, but it's another 1st down for Tech.
Sanders appears to be a terrific athlete to be, Dan. A lot of real, what I would capture as athletic moves as he darts and spins on these carries.
Derek Sanders is a 5'7", 155-pound senior. This time, a big play made by David Gomez for Washington on the carry by Sanders. They were looking for him that time, and it's going to be a loss of 2 back to the 44-yard line of Washington.
Gomez knifed in from his right defensive, I don't know if it's a tackle or end position, shed a block, and big play for Washington at this point. He's a senior.
2nd down and 12. Washington blitzes. The pass is complete to Billy Scott. Knocked out of bounds inside the 40 at about the 37. Tackle made by Randy Anderson, but Tech gets closer to another 1st down.
That's the identical pattern, Dan, that we're going to see it now in the replay. It's the identical pattern that number 24 for Tech, Lamel Bivens, ran maybe 3-4 plays ago. He swung out of the backfield in that left flat and was uncovered.
Nice, safe passes.
Right, I think it's important, especially
Sanders. For a moment, it looked like he had a huge hole to get through, but Randy Anderson in on the tackle, stopping Sanders short of the 1st down at the 35-yard line. So a decision here for Tom Konowalski. Going to be 4th down and about 2, maybe 3 yards. And I think Tech is going to go for it.
Well, this is an interesting call in a similar situation. Not quite much later in the ball game last year against Washington, went for a play like this and missed it. But let's see what happens.
4th down. This is Billy Scott. and he is not going to get the first down. It depends on the spot, but I don't think he got it. Unless a little second effort picked it up. Troy Jones in on the tackle. Well, now they're looking to see. No, he is short.
He's quite a bit short.
And it's a first down the other way for Washington. And the Purgolders have really come up with some big plays. We talked about it earlier, the interception in the end zone. Now this play on fourth down. There's been a couple of turnovers on Tech in the ball game. And Greg Lehman's crew hangs on right now, still 7-0 with 6:45 and counting left to go in the third quarter. Derek Jenkins with a handoff, and there's a penalty flag down in the defensive secondary. The handoff was to Maurice Stevenson, the fullback, and we'll have to check in with Mark Gondek on the call. Andy Vila on the tackle. And it's holding against the Purgolders.
I've been impressed with the ability of the Washington ball carriers, Dan, to just simply hold out of the football. I mean, when Tech hits you, you know you've been hit, and they have yet to cough one up here, and we're just about midway through the third quarter now. I would have perhaps anticipated that happening. I guess we could say the same thing on the other side of the football, because Washington's laying some licks out there, too.
The only turnover for Washington was on a bad pitch. Let's check in with Mark Gondek.
Number 50 offense.
Ooh, there's a no-no. Mention the name.
Well,
We'll protect the innocent. It wasn't 57 Jameel Richardson, was it? I'm not sure. I couldn't hear. But it is a big penalty. Sets the Purgolders back first and 20. And this is Chris Perrine, who is over 100 yards for the day. And he gets back some of what they lost on the penalty, about 8 yards of that, but it's going to be second down and 12. Nakia Williams in on another tackle.
Well, Tech's having trouble with this play. I mean, they simply run it well. They get their offensive linemen out there in good shape. They're making excellent blocks, and Perine's simply a fine runner. So it's something that they're going to have to stop and contain to keep Washington from continuing to make sustained drives here.
I tell you what, we don't want to leave the lasting image of that last play of the first half with Williams, as Washington tries an inside reverse to Holyfield, and he is stopped. A big play by Eric Glad for Tech, and it's going to be third down and really long for Washington. But I was talking about Nakia Williams. He has really played an excellent football game, and you don't want to have just one play ruin the whole game for him, because he's been in on about 7 or 8 tackles.
Now, Nakia Williams is a fine football player, been one for Tech for the past several seasons. And when talking to Coach Konowalski and asking a number of individuals he wanted to highlight today, the first person he mentioned was number 44 inside linebacker, Nakia Williams.
6'1", 220 pounds, and Tech jumps offside. That one's not going to make anybody happy. Bernard Brown, number 52.
Now he just gave back the loss that was captured on the last play.
It was 3rd and 15. You're right. Now it's going to be 3rd and about 10. Still a long way to go. There's the Washington players trying to get their offense moving. Purgolders have not had a lot of success on offense here in the third quarter. It's mostly been Tech.
Like those Washington uniforms, that colorful. Of course, Tech clad in the traditional purple and white.
And again, Tech is jumping offside. This time it's 58, Lucas Galindo. I don't know what Jenkins is doing, but it's working. Derek Jenkins drawing the defense off on consecutive plays.
Whoa, in the black hat with Washington on.
Check in with Mark Gondek again.
Dead ball foul. Number 58 defense. Third down.
Well, what had been a pretty much penalty-free game in the last 3 minutes has begun to deteriorate. There's Frank Budish with the stocking hat on the screen. Now, that's a beautiful man. I mean, there's been others that have contributed positively to kids around the city of Milwaukee in the last 15 or 20 years, but none more than Coach Frank.
He's had a lot of influence. Third down pass, Jenkins, complete for a first down to Rayshawn Jackson, all the way out to the 49-yard line. So Washington, with the help of a couple of penalties, has got themselves a first down.
Well, Dan, if you're a Tech fan, this last sequence, the 2 penalties are now allowing them to go from a 3rd and 15 to a first down is liable to put a tear on your pillow tonight.
4:17 and counting left to go in the third quarter. That's Stevenson up the middle. Very close to another first down. And the Tech sideline is getting heated. Patrick Furman had to make the tackle from the safety spot. And it's good for another first down, 10 yards.
Well, they got a good surge off that Washington offensive line. Blew them back there 3-4 yards. And it's a bad sign when those defensive backs are making your tackles.
Stevenson again, and they still cannot bring him down. 47, Eric Glad ripped the ball away from him after the play was dead. But Stevenson does not want to go down. The tackle made by Mike Kopp, 61. No gain, maybe a half yard. And that's probably the shortest gain of the day for Stevenson, who has been breaking up 7-8 yards a carry. He's a nice compliment to Perrine. 2nd down and 9. This time the handoff to the man in motion, Rashawn Jackson, and he's brought down for a short loss. Andy Vila on the tackle for Tech, so it's 3rd and long, maybe 11 yards to go.
Let it be said right now, Dan, hats off here as we're 3 minutes and counting in the third quarter. The Washington offensive line, they've got some good, real fine runners at Washington, but my goodness, that offensive line, and they're facing a real tough defensive front in Milwaukee Tech.
3rd down and 11, and again, it's Tech jumping offside. We'll see if they were drawn off. That was 77, Marcus Tribune. It is against the Tech defense again. That's 3 penalties in this drive.
Dead ball foul, number 77, defense.
I think Mark is trying an audition for college or pro.
Mark is
doing a good job.
He's on top of his game.
3rd down and 6 now. And the quick pitch to Perrine. This time it does not break loose for big yardage like it did on the touchdown. The tackle made by Eric Glad. He stayed at home. And it's going to bring up a 4th down play inside the 35 at the 34-yard line of Tech. And it looks like they brought in the kicking team.
Well, I know what Tech would like to do here. They've been putting a punt block on each of these things. And some of the snaps by young Jenkins have been a little on the shaky side, but the punter takes a real deep drop.
This is McCarter from his own 45, end over end, but it'll work. And the catch is made by number 7, the quarterback, Mike McNello, and that's a gutsy play. He was surrounded by defenders. He did call for a fair catch, but that's not an easy ball to catch when you're running in on it. And a turnover there would have been very costly, but it's a nice play by McNello at the 20-yard line. And that's where Tech takes over, trailing 7-0, 2:06 left to go in quarter number 3, a very fast-moving game. Washington has lost only 1 game all year that was non-conference to Waukesha South. Tech dropped their opener to Waukesha Memorial. They are undefeated in conference. Here's a handoff to Billy Scott. He crosses the 20 out to the 23, bringing up a 2nd. About 5. Tackle made by Jamil Richardson for Washington.
McNello's a fine ball handler, Dan. There's a lot of motion in that Tech backfield, and I don't envy you trying to pick up the ball on some of these calls.
2nd down and 5, minute 30 now and left in the quarter. This is Billy Scott again trying to get outside for the first down. Needed to get to the 29, and that's where he does get to. So it's a first down for Tech. Keep the drive going.
I don't know that it's crunch time yet. I don't know that this has to be the drive, but it's certainly a drive where Tech needs to at least establish a field possession and some continuity in their offense.
Watch for a big play here by number 6, Randy Anderson for Washington. He's been in on a lot of big plays. A fumble. The ball is loose, and Washington says they have it. We'll see. Randy Anderson was down near the bottom of the pile, but it's Sanders falling on it, and that is a huge break for Tech as they lose 5 or 6 yards, but they keep possession of the ball.
I don't know how he came up with that ball, Dan. There was just a sea of white jerseys, and At first glance, it sure looked like it was going to be Washington's football.
And that would have been
Might have been one of those.
inside Tech territory. That could have been the turning point.
Might have been one of those steals at the bottom of the pile jobs, huh?
Well, Sanders, after recovering the fumble, gets the carry. Wayne Hollins on the tackle after about a yard loss, I think, on that play for Tech, and there's an injured man on the field. And it looks like one of the running backs.
I think, Dan, just a thought here right now, beyond the obvious of both teams wanting a victory today, you know, both these coaches, beyond being coaches, are teachers, and I think the thing they want to go off this field with is the realization their teams both played as well as possible. And, you know, that'll have to be their determination, but at this juncture, both these teams have played excellent football.
That was LaShawn Grace, the injured player. There you see him. He's walking off the field. And that is the Washington sideline. They lead it 7-0. The winner will clinch at least basically at least a tie of the conference title. It's not officially clinched, but they pretty much have control of this race. As all season long, well, Marshall has played very well, but these have been the top two teams. King was expected to be one of the top teams, and they have had their moments this year, no doubt about it. But it has come down to Tech and Washington once again.
Big play for the Trojans. 3rd and a bunch.
3rd and 15, McNello. And his pass is intercepted by Derek Jenkins down the sideline. Inside the 20. And Washington with a big break, the 3rd turnover of the game for Tech. John Ostrowski made the tackle, but Derek Jenkins with a huge play.
Well, they're trying to hit number 82 for the Trojans. Let me see who that young man is. Chad Getz streaking down the right sideline. The ball was overthrown, and Jenkins simply was back there in position to make the interception. Getz, the last moment, realized it and tried to play defense, but it was just too far.
The handoff to Stevenson for Washington. On that replay, you saw the reverse angle replay, and it looked like Jenkins, if he would have stayed outside, might have had a little more room to try to get into that end zone. But as it is, the ball deep in Tech territory, and that's the final play of the 3rd quarter. Washington leads at 7-0. We'll be back with the final quarter right after this on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week.
Water, the world's most soothing surface. But you can't walk on it, or can you? Introducing Hydro Walkers by Telebrands, the amazing new water insoles that actually fit right into your shoes. You've experienced this.
My feet are killing me.
Tired foot syndrome.
I can't take another step.
Thousands of times each day, your feet absorb hundreds of pounds of pressure, causing sore, aching feet, better known as tired foot syndrome. Hydro Walkers have been bioengineered to dramatically reduce limb and foot pressure while gently massaging your feet.
I love them. They're like a waterbed for my feet.
These are great. I could even do my route over again.
Hydro Walkers not only cushion your feet, but actually give you an all-day foot massage with every step you take. Here's how it works. Hydro Walkers' unique flow chambers are scientifically designed to channel the aqua pressure back and forth, gently massaging the nerve endings and the soles of your feet. The massaging action makes walking fun again.
Hydro Walkers make my dress shoes feel as comfortable as my $100 sneakers.
That's right. Athletes are spending $100 or more for high-tech sneakers with liquid inner soles that help maximize their performance. Similar products are selling for as much as $19.95 in major catalogs. But now, during this exclusive TV offer, we'll give you 4 pair for the same $19.95. Unbelievable! That's only $5 per pair to get the incredible sensation of walking on water. At this price, you'll want one for every member of your family.
Just call this toll-free number, and I'll deliver your Hydro Walkers in no time.
To order, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-767-7100. That's 1-800-767-7100. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Hydro Walkers, 475 American Way, Roanoke, Virginia. Or call 1-800-767-7100.
Beatles and Bill G back at Pulaski Field as we begin the fourth quarter. Washington leading 7-0, and they have the ball at the 15-yard line of Tech, 2nd down and 9, and a score here, Bill, would make it very tough for Tech to come back.
Very tough indeed. A lot being asked of the Tech defense right now. They're simply going to have to hold.
2nd down. Jenkins rolling right. Looking deep. He's got a man open. Incomplete. And give a lot of credit to Derek Sanders for breaking that one up. The intended receiver was 81 Daryl Carter. And watch on the replay as Sanders came from the right side of the screen.
A little roll to his right. Number 81, Daryl Carter, was in the right corner of the end zone. And Sanders closed very quickly to break that ball up. Well conceived play by Washington, but as I say, the difference was the ability of number 32, Derek Sanders, to get over there in the right amount of time.
So it's 3rd down and 9 now for the Purgolders.
Big play.
They lead it 7-0. Derek Jenkins, the quarterback, he's got the handoff to 22. Chris Perrine trying to break outside, but a good job by the Tech defense. And Nakia Williams pushed that play back inside. And watch on the replay, he made that play.
He did indeed make that play. Perrine looked like he had a huge hole developing on the right side of that Washington line. There was nothing but white jersey out there. Out of nowhere, Nakia Williams slashed through there, got a hand on him, and brought him down.
Also,
big play.
Jamile Edwards out there to help push that play back inside. So 4th down and 7. The ball is spotted at the 13. They're going to try a field goal. McCarter in. The ball is going to be set down at the 20. It's a 30-yarder. It's up, and it is no good. It falls short. So Tech holds, and they are still in the game. It's 7-0 Washington. So Tech will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. McCarter just not enough leg on that one.
I think he used a 9-iron, needed about a 5 on that one, Dan.
The only score of this game came in the 2nd quarter, as it was Perrine, 78 yards on a touchdown run after he had intercepted a pass, and that is the score that is standing up right now. And we've got a timeout on the field taken by Washington, as they were not quite ready for that one. And so still 7-0 with 11:09 left to play. There you see the Purgolders.
Well,
Playoffs are beginning in a couple weeks, so we mentioned the importance of this, and the winners will be in the playoffs.
Well, 11:09, this game has been everything we expected. 2 fine teams slugging it out. This was a heavyweight fight. I'd say right now this is round 12 with Tech hanging in there and Washington trying to finish them off on that last series. But again, I'll go back to what I said last time. I don't know if they're at the point where Tech has to score here, but I think minimally they want to get out of here with some field position. So they're in a position to tie this thing up here in the latter stages of the 4th quarter. A lot of credit to the Tech defense on that last set. Score, as you indicated, would have put them in real tough shape.
It is homecoming here for Tech. Game played here at Pulaski. And they're hoping to get some offense going. 11:09 left in the game. Here's the handoff to Sanders. Nothing doing. Hit on the tackle. 56 is Titus Watkins, the nose guard for Washington. Troy Jones, the linebacker, also in there. And it's a loss of a yard, actually. 2nd down and 11. Next week, we mentioned we will be in the Metro Conference at Hart Park. Marquette, the Hilltoppers, against Racine St. Catherine's, trying to wrap up the Metro title, are the Angels. 2nd down pass. McNello gets away from the pressure, throws, and he's complete pass. Matt Lancy, the receiver, and it's a 1st down for Tech.
It was like Manello was shaken up on the play.
Good eye, Bill. Yes, McNello was down on one knee. He was blasted after he threw it. And watch for it again. Watch number 7 get hit.
Well, what made this play was McNello kept a cool head. The initial receiver out here on the right side of your screen was covered. He felt the pressure, moved out to the left side, found Lancy open, made a real nice play. Seems to be all right, Dan.
It's a 14-yard gain. I couldn't see the number of the player that came through, but somebody blasted him right as he threw the ball. This time it's Billy Scott running low to the ground, getting a nice block from Marcus Tribune. Tackle made by Rayshawn Jackson, and Tribune is down, slow to get up. Looks like he twisted his ankle, but he's going to stay in the game.
I've been impressed with the speed of the Washington linebackers. They just seem to be everywhere. When a Tech running back seems to have a lot of room to run, all of a sudden they're there, and it's the play is ended.
Stevenson now in there at a linebacker position, and McNello completes another pass to Lancey, bowling over defenders, right over the top of Jenkins, and there's a little pushing and shoving going on. And Tech has another first down at the 46 of Washington.
Well, this is a play we saw earlier in the first half. Lancey just finds a seam in the Washington zone defense, hooks it up, and McNello delivers nicely. And now the rest of his play is a la Mike Ditka in the 63 pair Lion game.
Lancey not only knocked over Jenkins, but then he kind of stomped on him. He didn't get out of the way, and it's a big gainer and a first down. And then on first down here for Tech, it is Sanders with a short gain, about a yard or two. Second down, and we'll call it 9. Tackle made by Titus Watkins. And 9:05 and counting. So the clock continuing to roll. A very quick game.
But a good game, Dan. We're happy to be here. This is like a couple of heavyweight fighters. Reminds me.
McNello tucks it down and tries to get outside, and a great defensive stop by Randy Anderson. Once again, stopping McNello for a very short gain, maybe a yard. And watch the play by Anderson just to get over from his right linebacker position.
Well, I think the key to that play was the fact that number 6 for Washington remained unfooled, because if he wasn't there, Randy Anderson wasn't there, there was trouble. Big play.
And on third down, McNello loses the ball. They're going to call him in the grasp, I guess. They don't really have that rule for the high schools, but they do rule him down. Give a sack for Washington, Wayne Hollins, and it's going to be 4th and long.
I'm glad we got the replay, Dan, because we were the victim of that quick Tech offense again. Thought he saw an opening, and what would appear at first glance to be a fumble was stopped by the whistle.
Well, a safe call by the officials, but McNello's a strong kid. He might have been able to get away, and that would have made the ball alive. But it is 4th down and 12. Timeout on the field.
For a moment, I thought our friend Mark, the referee, might have thought he had the use of instant replay here on that call. Might have got carried away. Could use a big punt here.
And that's Patrick Furman. He's done a nice job of punting today. Rayshawn Jackson inside his 20. And brought down by a swarm of Tech Trojans, including number 40, Jamile Edwards, and Peter Orlando, 57. Is that Peter Orlando and Don?
No idea, Dan. Rayshawn Jackson also plays, a young gentleman from Washington, just fielded the punt, plays on the JV basketball team, a member of the varsity track team, the student government, in addition to being their starting right halfback and strong safety.
Played a pretty strong game out here today for Washington.
As indeed.
Al Jenkins has to kill a little clock time. 1st and 10 at the 21, and once again it looks like he's drawn that Tech defense off. Or did Washington jump? This time it is Washington. So we have had 3 penalties against Tech for jumping offside. Oh, we still haven't gotten the bugs worked out on that microphone yet. And it's going to be 1st down and 15, so that time it's on Washington. That's their 4th penalty of the game. 1st and 15, 7:45 left. Washington still up 7-0. That's Stevenson. Tough yardage up the middle. Maybe about 3 or 4 yards. Tackle made by Andy Vila.
Well, with under 8 minutes now, Dan, it'll be interesting to see whether Washington is willing to risk putting the football in the air, and whether Tech is going to gamble that they won't and try and get up there and make a hit right at the point of contact to cough up the football.
3-yard gain that time for Stevenson. 2nd and 12. Jenkins ready to throw. Looking deep to Eric Jenkins, and he throws into coverage. He's lucky it was not intercepted. Furman on the nice defensive play. Patrick Furman, number 11, along with 27, Damian White, as they converged on Eric Jenkins.
Well, exactly as you called it. Furman was in position to make that interception, but Damian White had to do what he had to do. He had no idea that Furman was there, and it was just simply a positive act of aggression on his part to break that pass up.
And Eric Jenkins was saying to Derek Jenkins, a little higher. Maybe a little bit higher, and he would have been gone. 3rd and 12. Derek, complete, no, incomplete, right through the hands of Daryl Carter, as I think he turned around and saw Damian White right in his face, and it's incomplete. It's going to be a 4th down. Now watch this one.
Well, if I were the Washington punter right now, I'd have happy feet, but we got the replay here. I think you called it just right. He turned before he really had caught the football. Tech's going to rush everybody. Watch it now.
Andy McCarter.
Here they come.
Oh, and he is lucky to get that one off, and it's a pretty good punt to boot. McNello takes it at the 47-yard line. He'll be down at the 47 of Washington. Good job on the coverage. And I tell you what, Derek Jenkins, who made the tackle, gets up limping. That's not a good sign for Washington. But hey, Andy McCarter really did a nice job of getting that one off, because he had at least 2 or 3 players in his face. Watch the replay.
Well, as we anticipated, everybody was coming for Tech, and it looked close. Maybe it wasn't as close as it seemed at first brush, but
Lymel Bivens almost blocked that punt. 1st and 10 for Tech. McNello gets it away to Billy Scott. Complete, taken down to the 42-yard line, a gain of about 5. Stevenson on the tackle, and I tell you what, one of those Tech defenders nearly picked that one off and went all the way.
Well, you're absolutely right, Dan. Michael Arbuckle, number 7 for Washington, came within a hair of turning this into a huge play for Washington.
But instead, it's a gain of 4 yards for Tech to Billy Scott. 6:33 left. Tech has been inside Washington territory a couple of times, but they've had 3 costly turnovers. Sanders up the middle, no gain. Randy Anderson in on the tackle again, along with number 79, that is Percy Carroll, into the game. And it's 3rd down and about 6.
Well, if they've got a play to gain 6 yards in their offense, this is time to call it, because we're running out of clock here. 6:10.
3rd down, McNello dropping back, and he is sacked. A great individual play by number 57, Jamile Richardson for Washington, and it's going to be 4th down and long for Tech.
Yeah, number 57, Jamile Richardson. Let's see where he came from. He just shed the block of number 32, Derek Sanders, on that play, and that play was taking an awful long time to develop from the Tech end of things.
11-yard loss now on the punt try. Furman does get the snap after it went over his head, and he gets it off. It's going to be rolling down inside the 25-yard line. So Tech, thanks to Patrick Furman, survives that one. Washington will start at their own 25. They could have been in a lot better field position, but still Tech is not able to come up with the big play to get into scoring position, and they're still trailing at 7-0.
Huge play by Patrick Furman, because it would have been very easy on the basis of the snap to panic, but he sized up the situation, realized he could still get it off, barely got it off, but saved his team a good 35 yards in field position.
Here's the handoff to Perrine, getting outside, brought down by about 3 or 4 players. Big number 78, Tremel Solomon, along with Derek Sanders. Solomon I wouldn't want running into me. 6'3", 245, that's generous. He's a big guy. Also out there, I noticed Bernard Brown has been in and out of the lineup. He goes about 300 pounds at 6'2".
Perrine must be in excellent shape, because he's running as hard right now as he was when this game started.
He's got a lot of carries in this game. 4:37 and counting. Washington needing some first downs. They gained 8 on first that time. 2nd down, the handoff to Stevenson, the fullback, who's also had a very good day. Mike Kopp on the tackle. Very close to a first down. They need to get to the 35. And they did. That's a first down.
Maurice Stevenson, number 44, is both a fullback and inside linebacker for the Purgolders. He's also on the track team, participates in the weightlifting club and the student government. 5'10", 193-pound junior fullback for the Purgolders.
So Greg Lehman just content to have his team take their time. 4:10 and counting left in this game. Tech is going to have to start thinking about taking some timeouts. They trail at 7-0, and it's 1st and 10 for Washington at the 36. And before they can get the playoff, what do we have? Too much time. Well, I don't think he wanted to take that much time. Well, what he did say, but you didn't hear, that was delay of game against Washington. So 1st and 15. And the ball's at the 30-yard line. Maybe the 31. Derek Jenkins is back in the game, by the way. Handoff to Stevenson, the fullback. All the way out to the 41, 42-yard line, short of a first down, but he just got about 10 yards back. And Tech is going to have to come up with a stop now. Damian White with the tackle.
Big surge on the offensive line of the Purgolders. 4 or 5 yards before any Trojan tackler could possibly get a shot at young Maurice Stevenson.
2nd and 5. Jason Brock, Troy Jones, Jamiel Richardson, Wayne Hollins, Chris Brown have done an excellent job on the offensive line today. This time it's Jenkins on the option, struggling for the first down. And once again, tempers flaring on the sideline. And the referees are trying to separate these teams, so are the coaches. And everybody does a nice job of separating them. This time they fracas in front of the Washington bench. And it's a first down for Jenkins.
And I've been impressed with the ability of Derek Jenkins throughout this football game, Dan, simply to make the right decision. He's had to make a lot of them in this Washington offense today in the option plays. And when he's gone back to pass, he just hadn't made a bad one.
Only one turnover in the game, and that was on the pitch.